the Panthers in the home whites. Freshman Talon Guthrie gets ready to start, and the 2026 season is off in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Zalski up the right side. Some pressure from Guthrie. Guthrie tries to split defenders, but it'll sit to Kendall Sears in goal for Youngstown.
Well, and right away you see 3 back for the Panthers. So it's looking like Archibald's back there, Olivia Lee, Katie Zalski. Claire Jones, she is more up in the midfield, hanging out in that almost like a left winger role, but you've got Archibald back here on the far, on the near side, excuse me. Lee is on the left side over there. Zalski's holding it down in the middle, and that's pretty natural for where Zalski is, especially in her first game back, hasn't played since last spring. So it's nice to see her in a very natural position.
A very talented back 3. What does that allow the Panther squad to be able to do?
Push players up in the attack. So Mariam Adabo, you'll see her kind of being like a faux defender a little bit. Playing as the number 6, you play more as a defensive midfielder. And so if Archibald or Jones go up more towards the attack, Dabo's going to slot back and kind of fill in that role just in case.
Archibald with the throw-in. Finds Ota. Back to Dabo. Recycles to Zalski. Zalski looking for a Panther over the middle. Headed out by the Penguins. Panthers really playing out of the back to start this one. Finding Archibald in space. Archibald. Dabo in the middle. And you mentioned right when the Panthers came out, something we noticed, 4 captains on this year's squad.
Yeah.
What does that signify for you?
Well, I think last year was just...
Some danger over the middle. That was 2. Unable to collect it. Youngstown clears. Bailey Williams giving chase. Ellie Johnson finds Lee.
This is where Olivia Lee really shines, is where she's facing off with a attacking player one-on-one, and she has to get that ball out. She won't just boot it up the field. She will dribble it around, and she 9 times out of 10 is usually good at getting out of those messes. But to your point about the 4 captains, last year, talking to Olivia Lee a couple times, she said it was kind of lonely being the lone captain, and that's very rare in collegiate women's soccer, as Ota was looking for 2 there. So she said often I had to play the bad cop last year, and it was kind of lonely being the only captain standing up in front of the team. And talked to Ben Waldrum in training on Monday, and he said, I didn't want to put that type of pressure on Olivia again. They were kind of hinting on Monday at 2 captains, but 4 now. Claire Jones is an obvious choice with being a fifth year transfer from SMU. Katie Zalski is back as a 5th year. Of course, she's going to wear a captain's armband. But I was really intrigued, and the local Pittsburgh kid in me is happy to see Lola Abraham get an armband too. And you know, she had a really good summer with the Pittsburgh Riveters in the W League, and so her hard work is just paying off. And again, that's a player who her freshman year she had really nice handful of games and then tore her ACL and had to miss the rest of the year.
Ota looking for Guthrie over the middle. Cleared and fouled was Autumn Fairfax on the return. And Youngstown has a free kick in their own penalty area. Really nice crowd here tonight, 76 and cloudy. Not much more you could have hoped for on an autumn Pittsburgh evening.
We've been to some sweltering games, and this is quite nice.
Oh, this is very nice.
I'm sure the players are liking it too. But the wind is kind of whipping here, so if we get to the point of set pieces, that's going to be something to look out for.
Weiland battling with Tew. Tew comes away with it. Tew up the left side. Trying to find Abraham. Back to Tew. Tew recycles. Dabo with space. Back out to Zalski. Dabo in the middle again. Ota to the left side. Abraham's on the left side. Excuse me, that's Tew. Tew with some moves in the area. Cleared away by Youngstown State. Throw in for the Panthers.
Maya Archibald is pushing up a little bit more on the attack when the Panthers get a little bit deeper into the attacking third. Just something to look out for.
Abraham trying to get it to Ota in space in the box. Panthers will retain possession. Down to Tew, and Tew is tackled hard, but it'll stay with the Panthers. Claire Jones with the throw. Looking in the middle, that's cleared out by Kate Mackis. Second ball drops to Dabo. That's a really nice turn by Ota, and Ota. Ball hit away, cleared by the Penguins. What are you seeing in this initial Panther attack? They're clearing a lot of possession. Oh, there is Ota. Celine Ota is down for the Panthers now.
Well, and that's a player that you just immediately hope gets right back up, and looks like she will. A player that has been bitten a little bit by the injury bug, so glad to see her get up. But you know what, to be honest, in such an early game like this, we're not even 10 minutes in, I agree, let them play on. They're feeling each other out still. Could there have been an argument made? Sure. Is it still within the first 10 minutes of the first game of the season? Also true.
Panthers high pressing now. Lee wins it back with a good first step. Finds the outside, and the Panthers have possession once again.
I love the flow of the defense very early on. So they're pretty much playing with a 3-back. But you saw Olivia Lee get up a little bit on the attack there. Claire Jones immediately pulled back.
Abraham trying to get in the cross, and she wins a corner kick for the Panthers. It'll be Maci Tew to take the first set piece of the year for Pitt. The in-swinger from Tew, it's high, it's arching, it's punched out by Kendall Sears, and we'll do it all again from the other side.
Well, that's a question going into the season that, to be honest, Jason and I forgot to ask Ben Waldrum, who's going to be taking your corner kicks, because it was Margaret Wild last year, and Lola Abraham was doing so a little as well. Looks like it's going to be, at least in this match, Maci Tew.
Yeah, Tew from both sides here. Saw her from the left side, now from the right. Tew looking to the inside, just over the head of Taylon Guthrie, and collected by Sears. Sears looking to find Desiree Reed on the breakaway, but the Panthers once again get possession back quickly. Ota in the middle, back out to Dabo. Finds Jones in the middle, and Jones is fouled. Winning the free kick right at the half line. Archibald loses her defender. Tries to find Guthrie, but a little bit too much on that pass. But a really nice move by Archibald to find space.
Yeah, that was a nice looking ball into Guthrie, but just like you said, a little too much sauce on it. But Guthrie noticing right away that she's very quick. And she, granted, it's only been 10 minutes now, but it seems like she knows exactly where to be at the right time. Her positioning in this first 10 minutes has been very, very good.
Youngstown State trying to break the high press by the Panthers, trying to look for Fairfax on the run, but collected well by the Panthers defense, and they are going the other way. Archibald looking for some assistance, and she will recycle it back to Zalski. What was the main thing when you were talked with Ben Waldron? What had him excited for this year? What was his main point?
The 10 incoming freshmen. You know, I asked him, is there been anybody who's really surprised you or really stood out in the preseason training? And he said, well, you know, we do our homework, of course, so it's not too much of a surprise. But he said, yes, it's going to be a young team, but especially on the attack. But he said the freshmen are going to be pieces that fit in nicely and that grow. Because I look at this roster, and there are quite a bit returners. I mean, Katie Ellermeyer was the leading scorer last year, and she starts on the bench tonight.
Here comes Abraham with a run. Abraham looking to the outside for Reed. Hit out for a Panther throw-in.
But there's 10 new freshmen and 3 transfers, and all due respect to the goalkeepers, but Ellie Johnson is clearly the number one. That has been said, that's on the record. So you take 3 of those transfers, 2 of them are goalkeepers, which is really good for Ellie Johnson because you've got a junior and a senior in your goalkeeping group. You also have a new goalkeeping coach, so they kind of bring a little bit of experience and stability. And Johnson came in the spring as well, so that's very helpful for the Panthers to kind of get her in early, let her play some spring games. But you look at the transfers and you go, okay, 2 of the 3 of them are goalkeepers that, to be fair, are probably not going to start, especially when we get into ACC play. And then the other transfer is Claire Jones. So it's a very young team, and this is a recruiting class that Ben Waldron has been talking about for quite some time.
Yeah, definitely. And that definitely includes a lot of depth pieces. So you mentioned at the top that Waldron has a lot of options to pretty much piece this puzzle together. So very exciting for Panther fans to be able to see what's going to happen. Early on, we are now just about 14 minutes into the season as this ball drops to Ota. Ota looking over the middle. Drops to Guthrie. Guthrie has a chance. Here's Guthrie now, and that's cleared away by Youngstown. Dabo recycles back. Here's Zalski. Trying to find somebody over the top. Some pressure by Williams. Looking for some help, finds it in Johnson. The freshman keeper. Looks up to Jones. Jones across the left side. Darting through. Here's a through pass to Abraham. Abraham looking for the middle. Abraham wins her second corner of the game.
They're going to look for Katie Zalski prior to her injury. She was scoring on corner kicks left and right. Olivia Lee and Taylon Guthrie are kind of hanging back a little.
It's the in-swinger, and it finds the back of the net. Some discussion now. This one.
I think
it looks like it's a foul was called in the box, but the Panther bench is asking for a review. What did you see on that initial view?
I got to be honest with you, not much, because it was so clustered.
And this will be a VAR check. But right away, it was called by the referee. I'm not sure that even touched anybody on the way to the back of the net.
Zalski's making a pretty animated case. So I have to wonder if she was the one who maybe tapped it in. Even if she did, honestly, it looked like the ball hit the ground and just skipped into the back of the net from the corner. There was just it's tough on corner kicks when the goals are at the feet and not the head. It's way easier to pinpoint. But it was just clustered a little bit.
2 with 3 very competitive corners to begin. And that one really just in the chaos of bodies found the back of the net. It's going to be very interesting to see if a review can overturn this one and keep the first goal on the board for the Panthers this season.
So looking back, it looks like the ball skipped off of Zalski's head. That's why she was the one who was making the animated plea, if you will. Looks like it very thinly skimmed over her head, but Panthers are cheering, so.
Yeah, it looks like this will be overturned. And the goal will stand for the Panthers. 1-0 Pitt leads off of a Maci Tew corner.
And maybe a Zalski header. I wonder if the referee has to pinpoint to the coaching staffs, hey, it was Zalski who scored. Or no, it was Tew. I think it skimmed right off of Zalski's head.
It's being reported as a Claire Jones goal, so the SMU transfer scores in her first Pitt appearance.
The Panthers goal scored by number 11, Claire Jones, assisted by number 5, Maci Tew.
They just confirmed it in stadium that it is indeed a Claire Jones goal, and what a way to start your Pitt Panthers career.
Yeah, defender at SMU. She is playing a much higher role, especially today. So a way to get into the chaos of bodies, and the Panthers execute first and open up the scoring. A little too much on that by Sara Felder, the Penguins' top scorer last year and a third-team All-Horizon team selection. Felder is a dangerous piece for this Penguins offense. It's her pace that really lets her stand out and had her to the tune of 8 goals last year.
Youngstown State was projected in the preseason polls to finish 3rd, which is where they finished last year in the Horizon Conference.
Oh, Lee gets that one away. And is able to get it up. Here comes Abraham. Sits down at Archibald. Archibald has a lot of space. Looks for Guthrie on the Reed, on the outside. Reed batted away. Falls to Dabo. Lee will collect as a point guard at the top. Zalski looking for some runs, taking her teammates on. Here's Reed. Reed, an in-swinger. Just over the head of Atta. And the offside flag goes up.
I think Youngstown is going to be very appreciative of this offside flag for them to just be able to get into their positioning. Pitt has had more of the offensive movement here. But right now, Youngstown just seems a little bit jumbled and unsure of their positioning. But, you know, we were talking pregame with Youngstown's sporting information director, Jamie Hall, and he was just saying it's good to match up against ACC teams. It's good to match up against the, as he said, the Power 4 teams. And Youngstown State and their head coach, Rich Hall, they are loading their schedule with these tough games because he said that's where you know where you'll figure out where you're going to stand.
Abraham looks to the inside. That's headed away. Penguins trying to find some offense. But the Panthers retrieve possession. At the top for the Penguins, that's Cameron Rosa, who just entered the game. Horizon League Freshman of the Year, the first Horizon League Freshman of the Year for Youngstown State. She really impressed last year for this squad. So here's Abraham over the middle. She's looking for a runner. But Abraham has really had this Penguins defense in a little bit of chaos on the backside.
Yeah, she's got quite a bit of pace to her, and after watching her this summer with the Riveters, that's what she did all summer, was just own the flank.
Number 24, Katie Ellermeyer.
Katie Ellermeyer enters the game for Maci Tew, the Panthers' leading scorer from last year. Trying to find Rosa on the offensive side. Just a little bit too hard as Lee boxes her out. And the Panthers get the free kick. Goalie kick, excuse me.
Fans, we have a correction on the Panthers' goal. The Panthers' goal scored by number 5, Maci Tew.
So a little bit of a correction on that corner kick. It's going to go down as an Olympico. Maci Tew with the goal straight from the corner, and you do not see that one every day.
For an Olympico to be your first collegiate goal, enough said. That she's a freshman. She's somebody that in training on Monday, I said to our colleague Jason Earl, I like her. I really liked her. She's very physical despite being a little bit smaller in stature. I think she's about 5'4". She was quick and looks like she's going to provide nice service.
To the inside, number 16, that's Sara Felder, and she scores for Youngstown State on a through ball. Just gets it past Ellie Johnson, and Youngstown equalizes with 23 minutes left in this first half.
Well, just like that, just like a flip of a coin, you get a goal from the opposition, and she was sandwiched, it looked like in between Zalski and Archibald, I believe that was, on the right here. And just slips it right past Ellie Johnson. She almost jukes her out with that.
And right after that goal, Olivia Lee called the entire squad together for a mini huddle. Panthers have dominated possession in this half, but scoreline is equalized at 1 apiece.
Ben Waldron made it very clear to us on Monday that I don't care if they're in the Horizon League, you can't underestimate a team like Youngstown State, and especially a team that has as many returning players. Because if really you think about it, that's a team, their chemistry is established. They have a few freshmen that have come in, but primarily their starting 11 is players that featured for them last year. So you can't underestimate at all.
Youngstown State goal scored by number 16.
Sage
Sara
Stelzer
Felder,
enters the
assisted by
game
number
now for
2,
Desiree Reed.
Michaela Finger.
And as you mentioned, Youngstown State had their most prolific scoring year last year
Now
under
the Panthers, number
what
12,
was first-year
Sage
head coach Rich
Stelzer,
Wall.
replacing number 16, Desiree
Most
Reed.
goals, most assists, most total points against a fully D1 schedule in program history. So definitely an offense that knows how to score and knows how to win big games. Youngstown State playing with a little bit of a higher press here. Here comes Guthrie on the outside. Guthrie looking for some relief. Guthrie still on the ball. Guthrie with an in-turn. But the ball lands at Dabo's feet. Dabo with some space in the middle. Sara Felder, the goal scorer, can't maintain possession on that one.
You had mentioned Sage Stelzer coming in. She played more of a defensive role last year, but down the stretch, kind of weaning her into a more offensive position. And Ben Waldrum said, yes, she is going to play offensive this year.
Straight to Stelzer. On the right side, looking for on the inside, but that's batted away by Fairfax. And it looks like with 2 out, it'll be Ellermeyer taking the corner. All Panthers are in the box except for Guthrie and Lee. Here's the in-swinger. That's batted out by Sears. It'll be a throw-in for the Panthers. Clutter on the left side of the field. This fight looking for Guthrie. Ellermeyer with some space. Ellermeyer looking for the inside. Blocked by Yurko. Archibald now trying to get it to the other side. And here goes Camille Boutel. Intercepted by Abraham. Abraham on the ball. Abraham with her run. Abraham with her left foot. Blocked. And another corner for the Panthers.
I think set pieces is where you're going to see a lot more success for the Panthers, just because
It's time for
solely for the
Panthers
reason that
corner.
Youngstown is just throwing their whole team back on defense. So you've got Abraham up there, Ellermeyer, you've got Stelzer up there, but you've also got 9 defenders for Youngstown.
Corner coming in and batted out and back by Sears. Remember how we mentioned it was a beautiful evening? Well, now it started to rain.
A little misty.
A little bit misty. Nothing we can't play through here at Ambrose Urbanic Field.
Not like the downpour my husband once sat through an entire game of and then wondered how he got sick.
It's a real mystery, isn't it?
Yeah. Randy Waldrum came up to me after that game and said, I'm going to ask you this because I'm sure he's sick. How's he doing?
Ellermeyer goes short. Abraham was on the ball but called off it. And a Youngstown State free kick. push in the back by Zalski. And the Penguins have a free kick from their attacking half now. Just behind their attacking half. Yurko takes the free. Abraham intercepts. Abraham looking to recycle, trying to find a Panther. Up to Guthrie. Taps it to Ota. Guthrie in the middle. The freshman look for Stelzer. Batted away by the Youngstown back line, and now they're on the attack. Looking for Rosa. Bodies fall. No whistle is called, and we play on. Ellermeyer looking for a run on the right side. Stelzer can't handle it, and it'll be a Penguin throw-in. Panthers regain possession. Other than that one goal by Felder, Panthers have had the majority of the game on their attacking third. Lee finds the header to Ota. Guarded by Thinger. Ota cuts in with some moves. Ota with her left foot, and she goes down with the assist of Michaela Thinger, and Ota stays down. But she's back up now. And another set piece for the Panthers.
Into the match for the Panthers, number 15, Adi Bianchin, replacing number 26, Talon Guthrie.
Cornered by Ellermeyer, just the top of the net. Another sub by the Panthers, Adi Bianchin for Talon Guthrie. Some early subs from the Panthers. What does that tell you?
It just tells me that Ben Waldron's trying to tinker with the lineup and get some players some minutes against a pretty quality opponent. As you can see, Youngstown is certainly stepping up in a big game against an ACC opponent. But yeah, it's the first game of the season. There's a lot of newness to this Panthers team, so they're going to tinker with the lineup quite a bit. But I do appreciate that the back line has stayed the same. And they have really just, besides the goal that was given up, they have really flowed nicely. And it's kind of like a 5-person job between Jones, Lee, Dabo, Zalski, Archibald. It's very seamless.
Youngstown State off the deflection, but collected easily by Ellie Johnson. Zalski looking for some more runs. Ellermeyer trying to win one back. Falls to Zalski, to Dabo. In the middle, Ota has some space. Ota can create. Ota in the middle, back to the left side. Here's Abraham over the middle and just over the reach of Stelzer, who had a step on her defender. But some nice creation by this Panther offense once again.
Yeah, and that was probably the best chance at getting a goal in the open play. Again, Youngstown is just throwing their defense, really every player on defense.
Number 2, Michaela Finger.
It was a nice glimpse of what a Pitt Panthers counterattack can look like.
Stelzer wins it back for the Panthers. Comes Olivia Lee looking for her teammate. Abraham wins the throw-in. Excuse me, that's Jones over there. A little bit of the wrong football being played on the far side of the field. Don't worry, only a couple more weeks until the Panthers open up.
Somewhere Pat Narduzzi's ears just perked up.
This will be Celine Ota with the free kick from the far side. Ota into the box.
Oh, and a nice ball, too.
Deflected off of the head of a Penguin, and another free kick. Some really nice set pieces early on for the Panthers.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty evident that they're aiming for Zalski each and every time. I mean, Jones has a little bit of height to her, but Zalski, I believe either 5'8" or 5'9", one of the taller Panthers on the pitch.
Ellemeyer's in-swinger is just a little bit too far behind the goal, and it will be a goal kick for Kendall Sears. Some more high press action. Abraham trying to win the second ball herself. With a nice turn, Ellemeyer wins it. Up to Abraham. Finds Ota. Ota with some nice moves on the ball.
A little cheeky move there.
She's been very impressive on the ball so far tonight. Archibald with some space. Finds Ota. Into the middle. Stelzer deflects it out. Panthers unable to gain possession. It'll be a throw in for the Penguins. Goal scorer Felder trying to get back on the ball for Youngstown. Felder trying to find in the middle. Here's Rosa. Ellermeyer collects. Ellermeyer to the outside. Abraham and Ellermeyer give and go. Back to Abraham. Abraham running herself. Abraham with her right foot. Collected by Sears. As Abraham wanted that one herself.
Yeah, but why that far out? Especially when every single time that the Panthers, except for that one counterattack, Youngstown has had 7, 8, 9 defenders in the back. That time, Pitt had the advantage with players. Why not take that extra pass and slot through to either Bianchin or Ota or Stelzer?
Ellermeyer trying to get the through ball to Jones. Jones is clipped from the back and fouled. Another free kick in the attacking third for the Panthers. Ellermeyer and Jones will play behind the ball. Ellermeyer with a feint. looking to the outside. And the Panthers, it'll be a goal kick. Looked like there might have been a touch by Youngstown State, but the referee decides differently, and that's really the only person's opinion that matters in that decision. Some pressure by the Panthers.
I think next time Youngstown gets a goal kick, they have to maybe rethink that idea, because they've done that 2-3 times in a row, and Bianchin and over there on the left, Lola Abraham are starting to pick that up.
Dabo with a really nice tackle before on Rosa, coming up from behind her. Here's Ota again on the ball. She has some space. Looking to the inside. Here's Bianchin. Bianchin with nobody on to Ellermeyer with the feint and through! Oh, what a goal by the Panthers! Lola Abraham finishes it.
Oh, man, but what a ball from Adi Bianchin. She jukes out her defender. That was like a perfect build-up play. You started with Archibald. You went to Ota. Ota finds Archibald. And in the center there, you had kind of like a faux attack with Ellermeyer. She misses it. It ends up in the back end to Lola Abraham, and she puts it away. I mean, that is like a total team goal.
Ellermeyer looked to me like she left it on purpose for Abraham on the backside. So an even more impressive play. Ellermeyer, the leading scorer last year, leaves it for her teammate to pick it up, and the Panthers lead 2-1 with 7 minutes remaining in this first half.
Now in the match for Youngstown State, number 19, Emma Verdner, replacing number 16, Sara Felder.
What to you of that piece? Because there are a lot of impressive pieces. What to you looked the best or the most impressive?
I think Ota finding, believe that was Bianchin, because she, and Bianchin's movement, so Bianchin's going straight down towards the brick wall, if you will, towards the end line, and she fakes out her defender, so all of a sudden she's got two defenders near the corner kick side, and she's got a whole lane wide open there facing the goal.
Aforementioned Ota's hit hard on that one and is down again.
Yeah, and I wonder how much longer Ben Waldrum until he gives Ota a break and lets her rest up a little bit.
Ota has been very impressive on the ball so far tonight.
She's just been so smooth with her movements on the ball, and, you know, she tells me all the time it's the Nigerian flair. You know, she's got that Nigerian flair. We saw it with Deb Abiodun. And again, it's just, she's a player that's been through a lot. She came in, put her head down, got to work, was rewarded with the torn ACL. And then she had a couple setbacks, but was very, very, very patient. And that patience has really paid off now.
I think you can see her patience in the way she plays.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Here's the free kick into the box. Dabo a little bit handsy, and the Penguins will get a free kick in their third. But we've seen Ota really let the game go in front of her, and that really is what helped her find Bianchin on that ball, which led to the assist. So just caps off on that one, on a very impressive build-up play by the Panthers.
Well, I like that role that she plays of, like, the feeder. Mm-hmm. She has just been feeding the ball to Abraham, to Bianchin, to Stelzer, to Tew when she was in. She reminds me a lot of Landy Mertz when Landy Mertz was here, and she really played that role of the support system. She didn't always have, if it was like hockey and you counted the assist before the assist, Landy Mertz would have probably broken a record of about 40, but they don't count that in soccer. I think Ota kind of fills in that role really nicely. And they do give her that break.
Yeah, well-deserved break from Ota. Vive Loette
match for the Panthers, number 21,
giving
Lola
Ota the
Abraham.
relief. Another one of those
Number
impressive
20,
freshmen
Ota.
for this Panther squad. And another set piece for Pitt. This will be their 9th corner of the first half to Youngstown's none.
Vloette is another Canadian import. Pitt Panthers are very well known for their Canadian players in that pipeline, and program's all-time leading scorer Amanda West, one of those.
High arcing ball. I think that was Lee trying to find her seconds. So go out. Ellermeyer will take the 10th corner for this Pitt team now. Already scored one Olympico, which for anybody tuning in is a goal straight off the corner. Under 4 minutes remaining in this first half.
Sophie Rourke coming in for Olivia Lee, giving Lee a little bit of a break. And Rourke, the tallest player on this Panther roster, they're going to be looking for her.
Low driving ball and just hit over the top of the goal. But that's exactly who they were looking for. Their tall defenseman in the back.
Sophie Rourke replacing number 14, Olivia Lee. Now in the match for the Penguins, number 20,
Action-packed first half here at Ambrose Urbanic Field in Pittsburgh,
10,
Pennsylvania. Pitt opened the scoring with a Maci Tew corner that found the back of the net. But just 6 minutes later, Youngstown State equalized with a Sara Felder goal that just trickled past the hands of Ellie Johnson. And finally, in that 38th minute, Lola Abraham with a really nice Pittsburgh buildup that found the second goal of the half for the Panthers. Here's Bianchin on the outside. Bianchin gets past her defender, left foot to the middle. Archibald collects. Looks for Jones on the outside. It's Archibald trying to cross that one in. Cleared away by Youngstown. Zalski and Archibald. Archibald with an in-swinger. Has Bianchin with some contact. Kendall Sears stands that one up and earns herself a free kick.
Yeah, and anytime that you see a field player and a goalkeeper collide, the call is usually going to favor the goalkeeper and the protection of the goalkeeper, but really strong play from Kendall Sears to put her body on the line going against Bianchin there.
Even on the goal kicks, Youngstown State isn't really attempting to create any offense, just sending it long and hoping for the best. But with the Panthers playing 3-back, 4-back especially, just not a lot of offense they're able to get off that, and the Panthers will regain possession with under a minute left. Looking to hold for one last possible attack. Archibald on the right side, trying to find Stelzer. Stelzer on the goal line. In swinger, just couldn't get around it. .30 seconds remaining. Doesn't look like the Penguins are playing with much pace to try and get one off here. Sears goes long again.
10, 9, 8.
Panthers will have the
7,
throw in with
6,
10 seconds left,
5,
but it doesn't look like
4, 3, 2.
much an attempt on
1.
goal here. But Rachel, as we get ready to end this
Your
first half,
halftime score, your Panthers
what do you see so far from this
Youngstown
Pitt
State
Panther
number
side?
1.
A ton of offense.
Welcome back to Ambrose Urbanics Field for the second half of the Pitt Panthers season opener versus the Youngstown State Penguins. Ethan Lemler with Rachel Palmer. The Pitt Panthers are up 2-1 early. A lot of action in that first half. Rachel, what did you see?
I saw a really nice organized defense from the Panthers, and from the attacking, just a lot of no fear for a team that has quite a few underclassmen on that attacking front. There was really no fear. From Youngstown, saw a bit of a shaky defense, but they had really nice counter attacks. Of course, that's how they scored their goal with Felder, but even after Felder's goal, there were some nice chances for a counter.
Youngstown State gets ready to start off this second half. It'll be the goal scorer immediately on the ball. That's Cameron Rosa immediately on the ball for the Penguins. She sends it far. And Ellie Johnson collects. Panthers will look to keep their momentum going. An overwhelming effort by the Panthers in the first half. 72% possession to the Penguins' 28. Goal line only 2-1, but Ellermeyer collects here. Ellermeyer all the way through to Bianchin, but Bianchin just a touch offside, but a really nice pass by Ellermeyer, who had a really nice first half herself.
Yeah, she started a little slow and then really warmed into it, but Ellermeyer was making some really, really nice runs in that first half, and nice to see her kind of work on the distribution of the ball.
Finger on the ball for the Penguins. Gives it up to Butel. Butel into no man's land, and Ellermeyer collects. Up to Tew. Tew finds Archibald in the back. Ellermeyer on the ball once again. To the inside, that's Bianchin. Bianchin can't settle it at her feet, and it skittles out of bounds for a goal kick. But two really nice efforts by the Panthers early in the first 2 minutes of this second half.
Well, and 2 might be our lucky number, but I love Maci Tew. She has been really fun to watch. She's kind of everywhere. She reminds me already quite a bit of Amanda West.
You're making a lot of comparisons to some really great Panther squads, and that's got to feel good for Panther fans out there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. Last year was a bit of a down year for the team, but it was a very brand new. I mean, there's 10 freshmen on this team this year, but I would still go as far to say that last year's team was way newer. But not to just completely dismiss last year. Last year was so invaluable to players like Mariama Dabo, to Sophie Rourke, who got that year of experience, to Ellermeyer, who as a freshman was leading the goal scoring. When it got to ACC play, she began to slow down a little bit, but once she kind of caught the feel for ACC play, she really turned it up in the late half of the season.
Nice tackle by Bianchin on her attacking third. An unrelenting Pitt press we've seen so far. Just trying to make defense into offense. Not comfortable only being up 1. We've seen what this Youngstown State offense is able to do. That's Desiree Reed on the ball. Reed trying to find the inside. Deflects off of a defender and collected by the Penguins.
Well, and of course the Panthers are not going to be content with just 1. And then you look at the calendar, and guess who comes to town on Sunday? A really tough Texas team who, as I just told you off the air, I think should have been ranked. I think that was the biggest injustice to me when the NCAA coaches' rankings came out, the preseason poll. Texas not being ranked was just astounding. And so that's also a team that has a lot of newness to it as well. But on Sunday, Texas comes to town, and Pitt wants them to come knowing that this is a fortress.
Up to Ellermeyer. Ellermeyer with some space. Ellermeyer to the middle. Bianchin trying to put her right foot out. But nicely done by Kendall Sears, who we talked about at the half, has really impressed us. But a Penguin attack here. Here comes Sara Felder, the goal scorer for Youngstown State. Youngstown now threatening with a throw in deep in their attacking third. Hit out there by Katie Zalski, the 5th year. Trying to find the middle. Youngstown on the attack, and a nice play by Fairfax. Fairfax loses the ball, and here comes Pitt on the counterattack. 2, up to Abraham. Abraham one-on-one. Abraham trying to find some relief, but it's well done and well defended by Youngstown State. That was Hayden Berry on the defense. Falls to Rosa. Cameron Rosa with some moves. Cameron Rosa on the right side, into the middle. Felder back to the outside, but it's intercepted by Claire Jones, and the Panthers get possession back. 2, a little bit too much on that one. And Hayden Berry will have the throw-in. Boutel really looking to the outside run, but Kate Mackis cannot handle it. It'll be a goal kick for the Panthers. Claire Jones looking to facilitate. Off the outside of her foot. Finger quickly to Rosa. Defended well by Dabo. Finger will do it again. Finger to Rosa. To the inside. That's Tufo. Tufo on the ball. Foul given for the Penguins, and we will have a free kick.
Abraham was a little slow to get up there and took her time, had a little bit of a conversation with the referee.
Youngstown State moving their big bodies forward, trying to find an equalizer here. It looks like it'll be Wayland with the free kick. Mackis actually into the inside, batted away, still up in the air, in the danger area for the Panthers, tried to brought down, but it's cleared away. Danger not averted yet. High kick, and the Panthers will get a free kick after some danger in their own attack, on their own defensive third.
One player that hasn't been subbed out yet in this match, I think it's important to know, is Well, two really, Mariama Dabo and Katie Zalski. First and foremost, it's nice to see Katie Zalski getting the time. This is her first game back after missing out on all of last season with an injury. And with Mariama Dabo, she came to this team last year as a transfer. Now she's a senior. Last year, it was a bit of a rocky year. I don't think she quite had the year that she wanted. She got called for more fouls than she wanted to. And I think she really, from watching training on Monday to watching her in this match, I think she's really cleaned up a lot of those foul issues.
Panthers with numbers forward. A nice job by Hayden Berry to clear it away. The Downingtown native doing a nice job on that defensive back line in the second half. Ellermeyer with a first touch, can't control. Some chaos, and Archibald will just clear it long ways. A nice run here, but pushed through the back.
Was a bit of an obvious call there on Bianchin.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was much to dispute there, but
And she
a nice
knew it.
aggressive run
And
anyway.
she knew it.
A nice aggressive run either way. Ellermeyer with a nice turn. Looking for a Panther. Back to Ellermeyer on the far side. Ellermeyer inside to Tew. Collects at the feet of Lola Abraham. Abraham with her right foot. Turns back with her left foot, flicks it in, and just wide of the net. Goal kick for the Penguins. Going to be interesting to see what their strategy is here. Looks like it's going to be short kicks, but we saw the Panthers really high pressing here. Falls to the feet of Tufo. Tufo trying to get her run herself. Up to Rosa.
That was much better from Sears instead of just booting it up and not knowing where it's going to go, to actually see the open player and to get the ball to her.
Cameron Rosa's clipped, but it's going to fall Panther ball. Penguins really looking to try and get the ball at the feet of their main scorers, Sara Felder and Cameron Rosa. But the Panthers doing a nice job so far in this second half, 12 minutes in. There's Felder. Felder with some space. She's going to take it herself, and Johnson lets that one trickle aside. Couldn't get that one cleanly, as she had 5 Panthers converging on her. What's the mindset for a freshman in Ellie Johnson from her distribution? What is she looking for? What is she trying to work on as such a young player?
That's a really good question. I think for distribution, it's finding the open player. I know that sounds really obvious, but it is very easy for players to just boot the ball and hope for the best. Spray and pray, if you will.
Ellermeyer collects, trying to get the through ball here to Desiree Reed, but a really nice tackle by Kate Mackis to slow the pressure from the Panthers. Reed's move goes out of bounds, and Mackis with a nice play on the defensive, her defensive third.
I think something that, going to Johnson for a second, what she has that not a lot of people as coming in as a freshman would have in her shoes is that she has a lot of experience around her. She has 2 fifth-year players, Claire Jones, Katie Zalski. She has Olivia Lee, who is a fourth-year senior. You still have Sage Stelzer on the team who grew tremendously last year.
Rosa with a long distance kick. And Johnson nicely collected.
And then to add into all that experience, you have two veteran goalkeepers who both have collegiate minutes that are offering you advice, helping you with the day-to-day. That was what Ben Waldron said was the most important part, how the backup goalkeepers, Addison Romer and Sophia Laurie, they provide that help of adjusting to the day-to-day. Yes, Ellie Johnson played in the spring, but as we know, of course, the fall season is much more of a grind than the spring season is.
That's an entirely new goalkeeping room for the Panthers, including Eli Fewer, who is the new first-year goalkeeper coach for the Panthers. So two transfers, a freshman, and a new coach. So how do you try and navigate that if you're Ben Waldron with such a experience from a collegiate standpoint, but inexperience from a Pitt standpoint?
Well, I think that's where you look at who else is sitting next to Ben Waldron. You have Randy Waldron, who has...
Any relation?
Yeah. You wouldn't know by the hair. Randy's outgrown his son. But you have a player like, a coach like Randy Waldron, who has 30, 40 years of experience in both the international game, the professional game, the collegiate game, who has won 2 national championships with Notre Dame, has really come here and with Ben has completely turned this program around into something incredibly successful. So this is a big job for Eli Fewer. He has the collegiate experience. Another bit of experience that shouldn't be overlooked is that he was at IMG Academy in Florida for 5 years, which is like the premier high school. It's kind of like a mixture between high school and club soccer, if you will. So there's a lot of experience on that bench.
Some Pitt subs coming in. Ellie Rowlands for Dabo. Taylon Guthrie for Maci Tew. Celine Ota for Adi Bianchin. And here's Ota. Here's Rosa with the ball for Youngstown State, guarded by 5 Panthers. Up the right side now. In swinger, but just off the side net.
I'm keeping an eye on Mariama Dabo there as she's walking with the trainer, so it's good to see her walking. She was stretching out, looked like her calf. So good to see her walking on her own power, and might be wise of Ben Waldron and company to just rest her and get her ready for the Texas game.
While it is a nice night, it is important to note that in August in Pittsburgh, it is very humid. So cramping does, in fact, very much make sense.
And it's the first game back.
Oh, yeah.
And there were 2 exhibition games, a lot of rotation. So certainly this is the longest that players like Dabo and Zalski and Johnson have played.
And Dabo collects the ball out of bounds, heading back
from
the side.
A little behind the back.
Ellermeyer with her header trying to collect. Foul committed by Zalski. And we'll see how many bodies Youngstown State decides to throw forward here. Playing a really defensive game, still down 1 in the second half. 28 minutes to go. Would you expect them to start maybe a little bit more of a press and more of an attack as they do send their center backs forward?
I think so, but I think this is wise of them to keep 3 or 4 players kind of hanging around midfield. First
corner of the game, 1 for Youngstown State.
This is, I think, the first real test for Ellie Johnson.
We've seen Kendall Sears on the other side. Let in one, but has done a really nice job punching out dangerous balls right in front of the goal. Youngstown State's corner, it is really high, arcing. Falls to the feet of the Panthers, trying to clear it out. And it is cleared by Archibald. Here's the attack for the Panthers. Ellermeyer looking up to Guthrie. Guthrie, one-on-one, trying to find some space. And the foul is called on Guthrie. Clip the back heel of her defender.
Fans, we'd like to remind you that the Pitt women's soccer team will be doing post-match autographs this evening.
Trying to find some space herself in her first collegiate game.
Over on the patio by the baseball field. Then we'll lead everyone down to the field to interact with our women's soccer players.
Bodies on the ground and foul called. Looked like some players got tangled up there in the middle. This one forward, lands at the feet of Rosa. Rosa trying to find some space. Abraham bats it away. Ota trying to collect. Now's Ota, she finds Abraham on the left side. Abraham with numbers forward. Abraham trying to find some space. Abraham through. It's Tufo, clears it to the side. And the Panthers have another attack with 25 minutes remaining in this second half. This one falls to the feet of Cameron Rosa, the Horizon League freshman of the year last season.
Rich Wall is very vocal.
I did hear that one. He's trying to move his players forward a little bit here.
He's really improved this program.
Oh yeah.
They I was reading the game notes that Youngstown's SID Jamie Hall sent over, and it was just record tied, record broken, record tied, record broken.
In only his first season.
In only his first season. And you can just tell the passion that he has for the game. I don't think he sat down once.
He's just pacing back and forth back on that sideline.
He's probably got as many steps as Felder.
Got to make sure he's not cramping over. They're not going to start cramping over there.
He's got a very young coaching staff, too. Taryn Baxter returns with him for her second year. Anna Broughton in her first year. It's a very, very young and very new coaching staff.
Free kick in swinger, headed away by Zalski. Blocked by Abraham. This one falls to the Penguins' defense.
Look at Guthrie.
A little bit of miscommunication, and Guthrie with some pressure.
I mean, she came out of nowhere and just flew up there.
It's her dangerous pace that we've heard about. It's a young coaching staff for Youngstown State in an era of transfers. They kept some of their best players, their 4 highest goal scorers last season. So that's all you need to know how important that coaching staff is. Through ball here to Guthrie. Guthrie looking for a Panther on the cross. And this will go out for a Panther corner. Looks like it'll be
It's
Ellermeyer to
time
take
for
this
Pitt
one.
Panthers corner kick.
Ellermeyer looking for some of the tall bodies for the Panthers on the inside. They've been putting it really close to the goal line, trying to just get one touch. Here's Ellermeyer to the far post, back, but cleared away. And foul called. As the Penguins get possession. Some contact on that free kick.
Ota did not mind throwing herself into that ball.
Panthers have been a little bit physical so far today. Used positively, of course.
That's one area they were not lacking in last year. There was a lot of physicality, and many times last year, Ben Waldrum had said repeatedly, they could give up. They could give up at any time. They're not going to. And he really hammered that home, even on Monday when we asked him, what do you take away from last year? The never give up mentality.
Well, that showed the most in the last regular season game of the year as they took down national ranked #1 Notre Dame, giving them their only regulation loss of the entire season. The only time Notre Dame was held to a clean sheet, and only the second time in the entire regular season they were held for under 2 goals. So not giving up is a good mantra for that team that was able to take down a monster at the end of the season last year. To the middle, Johnson lets this one go out to the right for a goal kick. Some subs now for Youngstown.
Now in the match for Youngstown State, number 10, Keita Housey, number 19, Emma Bertner, and
Panthers going to try and build up from the back.
Gabriella Fidel.
Looking for Ota on the run through the middle.
Cameron Rosa, number 16, Sara Felder, and number
Sophie
20,
Rourke in the back line
Jenna
now for
Tufo.
the Panthers. Rourke to Ellermeyer in the middle. Looking for Lola Abraham on the outside. And Abraham gets a throw in for the Panthers. Back to Rourke. In the middle, there's Guthrie. Recycles back to Zalski in the back, and we'll do it again. Rourke. Up to Abraham, back to Rourke. Panthers searching for some space. Through ball. Here's Guthrie. Guthrie on the left side. Crosses it with her right foot into the middle. Cleared away only for a moment. Here's Ota. Ota trying to get through, batted in the penalty box, and penalty given for the Panthers. Ota with an aggressive move on the ball, and she wins a penalty for this Pitt side.
Sears is motioning, please check the VAR, please check the VAR, and the referee is going to go over and check that. It was a little delayed on the call. I think there was a high boot in there.
That's what I was thinking.
Did that
as well.
high boot actually clip Ota? I'm not sure.
Yeah, my thought was a high boot on a little bit of a reckless tackle from the side. The question is, did that clip Ota and not the ball?
So here's my question. If this penalty is awarded, I have no idea who will take it. Because I think last year, if you looked at last season, you'd go, okay, that's easy. You'd either give it to Ellermeyer or Abraham. Maybe now graduated Magali Gagne. I don't know. One of those three. This season, do you give it to one of the freshmen? Do you give it to a veteran like Ota who drew the foul? Do you give it to Abraham? Ellermeyer is out there. Does she, at this point, you could give it to Katie Zalski. There's so many options, and it's such a new combination that if this gets rewarded, I have no idea who's going to step up to the mark.
Yeah, last year it was Katie Ellermeyer was the penalty taker for the Panthers. She was 1 for 2, and those were the only penalties that the Panthers were rewarded last year. So going off of that, you'd assume it would be Ellermeyer, but with a team full of new faces, especially on the offensive side, and with Ota winning that herself, if this stands, it looks like this will not stand, though.
I agree with that call. Obviously, we're looking at it from one angle, but I think there might have been a little bit of embellishment to dive a little bit further. There was a high boot. Did it clip her? The referee says no.
Ota with a really nice move, though, and a nice run towards the ball.
She's been great.
Yeah.
She has really been great, and she's knocking. She's the feeder, I think, for this team, but that doesn't mean she doesn't want to score a goal, especially in a start. Her first start in a very, very long time.
Ellermeyer with some space for the backside. That's Stelzer. Panthers applying some pressure. 17 minutes left in this game. Goal kick for Youngstown State. Drops to the feet of Gita Housie. And Gita wins the free kick. Youngstown State looking for the equalizer. Panthers up 2-1. All 3 goals scored in that first half. So far, nothing in this second 45 minute. This ball falls to the feet. Ellie Johnson reaches to her right, but this is deflected out of bounds for a corner kick. That was Gabriella Fadel on the attempt. Another set piece for the Penguins. Camille Boutel will have the high arcing corner. Looks like she was targeting possibly Autumn Fairfax in the middle there. Connected, but just couldn't get enough on it.
Into the match for the Panthers, number 5, Maci Tew, replacing number 28, Ellie Rollins.
Rollins takes a seat now for Tew, as Tew gets her 3rd stint in this one. An errant pass falls to Youngstown State. The Penguins have an advantage, trying to get it to the inside, but it's collected well by Zalski and cleared away, looking for Guthrie. Guthrie with the second ball to Abraham. Now the Panthers have numbers forward. Abraham has Ellermeyer on the outside and Guthrie in the middle. Options for the Panthers. Back to the outside, it's Ota. Ota has been really good on the ball. She finds space in the middle. Ota with her right foot, but it goes wide for the Panthers. Youngstown State trying to push forward. Collected by Tew. Ota looking for some space. Forward. Falls to the feet of Abraham. Abraham to Guthrie. Turtled by red defenders. Back to Abraham, looking for some relief. Gets it in the middle. Ota looking for a run, but it goes through the middle. It's caught that one on the inside of her foot.
Yeah, frustrated with that pass as she showed after that, but I think the Panthers really want a third goal, especially with Texas coming up at home. But this Youngstown team is not relenting at all.
Panthers collide. A through ball, up. Here's Fidel. Fidel, guarded by Archibald. Fidel looking for some space. Fidel on the far corner. Archibald relentless and pokes that one out of bounds, so the Panthers can collect themselves on their defensive side.
Yeah, really nice job from Archibald to get in step, because Fidel had her beat by a foot and a half a little bit.
Off the head of Archibald for another Youngstown State corner. Third corner incoming for Youngstown State. Another high swinger. Ellie Johnson does a nice job collecting it and quickly out to Ota so the Panthers can go in a counterattack. Ota looking up, finds Stelzer. Stelzer around her own defender. Stelzer through the left side. She has Guthrie on the inside and just batted out of bounds by Danielle Wiley. Guthrie was open across the box, but Wiley did a nice job getting her body in front of it.
Panthers corner.
The Panther faithful growing in noise as they sense this pressure by the Pitt offense.
Tew is in the game, but she's not taking this kick.
High swinger, falls to the foot of Stelzer, off the bar and over. Still collected. And this will be another corner just off the crossbar was Sage Stelzer. It's gonna be Claire Jones. Taking it with her right foot.
And they're going for Rourke.
And it swings and Rourke pushes that one wide. Another 4 subs here for Youngstown State. They're looking for fresh legs, trying to will themselves to a equalizer goal with only 11 minutes remaining. It looks like Sears will send this one long. Panthers have done a good job of collecting these opposing free goal kicks. Tries to find Rosa. And the Panthers will have possession. And now the Panthers with some substitutions of their own. Bianchin comes in the front. So does Desiree Reed. Johnson clears it herself. Youngstown State still holding bodies back with 10 minutes left. But here comes the Penguins. Penguins looking for an attack, headed out. That's Desiree Reed collects. Reed just sends it up. And Youngstown State will give the Panthers a throw-in. Here's Tew. Darting through the middle. Back out to Ellermeyer to her right. Ellermeyer trying to find the outside. There's Stelzer on the outside. Stelzer with her left foot, in swinging. Second ball, trying to get collected, and it's cleared away by the Penguins. Both teams not comfortable in their current position, both looking for a goal. The Penguins for an equalizer, the Panthers for a third and to go up by 2.
I think the Panthers have really done a nice job throughout this game, holding that defensive formation, even with Olivia Lee taking a break for the second half. They have really just stayed organized. Sophie Rourke slotted in very seamlessly. Claire Jones, Maya Archibald playing very well, essentially on those wings.
Abraham recycles to Rourke. Desiree Reed playing in more of a midfield position, trying to find a cutting Panther.
Well, and Tew has kind of slotted in where Dabo was at that number 6. Possibly why you didn't see her take that last corner.
Bianchin with a nice move on the ball. Sara Felder, the Youngstown State goal scorer, clears that one away. Yeah, the Panthers playing a really nice, doing a really nice job of just playing people in every position possible.
Yeah, and I think that goes toward the depth. There's a much stronger depth, I think, than last year. I think Ben Waldron would agree as well. It seems like Tew has kind of just played everywhere except for the defense tonight, but now that she's slotted in where Dabo is, she is kind of filling in a little defensively when needed.
Looking for Ellermeyer on the run through the right side. Boxed out and goal kick awarded.
I think the biggest takeaway for me tonight is Claire Jones looks like she's played here for 4 years. She has just been so calm and steady on that back line. She and Katie Zalski right now, of course, Olivia Lee, the upperclassmen, kind of leading that back line. Maya Archibald as well. But, like, just the way Jones has been connecting her passes with her teammates, she looks like she's been a Panther for 4 years.
Zalski collects. Out to Reed. Abraham finds it on the left side. Abraham with her left foot. Gets it inside, and that's cleared away by Youngstown State. But Jones here gets possession herself. Out to Tew, and Tew recycles back. 6 minutes remaining in this game. Panthers still up 2-1 as they look for a season opener and a home opener win. This ball falls to Rosa. Cameron Rosa can't control. Back out to Archibald. Panthers looking to improve to 13-1-2 at Ambrose Urbanic Field in their home openers. And that'll be a corner for the Panthers. They are 7-4 all time in their season openers and won last year at home against Xavier. Looking for that third goal and the definite winner.
I wonder if they're trying out a couple players for these corner kicks, because Claire Jones is a defender, and she's up there taking the corner kick now. Not Ellermeyer, not Tew. Tew's kind of playing in that defensive midfield right now. this is what you're supposed to do in your non-conference games. You're supposed to tinker and figure out what works.
The corner from Jones to the inside. There's Zalesky, falls to Tew. Tew gets pushed. Rourke looking for a strike. Falls out wide. And Youngstown State has 5 minutes to equalize.
Really big roar right in front of us when Rourke took that shot. You have to figure it might be her parents down in front.
Yeah, really nice Panther, nice attendance for the home opener today. Zalesky clears that one away. Gets it to Bianchin. Here comes Tew. Tew looks for Ellermeyer. Ellermeyer's offsides. You do not agree?
No, I think there were at least 2 Youngstown players that kept her onside. And she corrected herself by spinning and getting back onside.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised by the linesman call as well. It did seem that she timed her run fine. Batted away by Zalesky. 3:30 left to go. Youngstown State unable to handle that one in the corner. There's Sara Felder, and now the Panthers will look to clear it away. Long throw. Batted out by the Penguins, and the Panthers get better position on their throw-in.
I still think if the result stands, of course Pitt's going to be happy with a win. I think if you talk to Ben Waldrum afterwards, he's going to say, yeah, but we should have had 4 or 5 goals. I think there were some opportunities that just were missing that final strike, or Sears has had a really nice game. And to be quite frank, Youngstown has been very defensively sound. They also have about 7 players on defense kind of forming a wall for Sears. Sears isn't a very tall goalkeeper, so you kind of need that. But Pitt has done a really nice job with build-up, and that is where they really struggled last year. It felt like most of their goals came off of set pieces or counterattacks and not too much build-up. I mean, I go back to Ota finding Bianchin for the assist on that second goal, and then Bianchin getting the assist to Abraham.
Here's Bianchin, and she wins the Panthers a corner with under 2 minutes remaining in this game. Youngstown State just really doesn't look like they're looking. They don't want to concede another goal more than they want to equalize at the moment.
But they do still have 2 players kind of hanging around that halfway mark.
Yeah. Panthers are still looking for that 3rd goal. This one's short to Zalesky. Zalesky corner guarding, trying to get some time off the clock. Does a nice job of earning it again.
One minute remaining in regulation.
1 minute left in the season 2026 season opener. Youngstown State moving fast now. Goal kick out. 50 seconds remaining. They want to equalize. They want to draw things level. Penguins forward. Panthers back. Second ball falls to Tew. Penguins pushing forward. Archibald clears that one away. 30 seconds remaining. Youngstown State going quickly. They are earning position. 20 seconds. To Rosa, and it's a great tackle and winning a free kick for the Panthers. with only 14 seconds remaining, as that should do it. An exciting first half with 3 goals scored. Started with an Olympico by Maci Tew, followed 6 minutes later by Sara Felder in the 22nd minute to equalize 1 apiece.
10, 9, 8,
and it was
7,
Lola Abraham
6,
in the 38th
5,
minute
4,
that
3,
put Pitt ahead
2,
and kept them
1.
ahead. As the Panthers start 1-0 in the 2026 campaign.